All right, this is chapter 4-1 or section 4-1. This problem would be like graphing sign for the very first time that we did it. I think on your final there's 5 graphing questions, and then there will be a couple questions where all I ask you to do is this. Remember where I would just give you these? I don't want you to graph it. I just want you to be able to tell me those 4 things. Okay? All right, let's quickly go through and do this one here. Remember, I always like you to list your A, B, C, and D. What's our A here?
3.
What's our B?
2.
C? There isn't one, so you could just say 0. And how do you spot D? Why is D always easy to spot? It's after the X and it's always in, it's a phase shift. It's always in parentheses. So if you don't see parentheses, which is good, that means your graph is way easier to do. Because when you have phase shifts, it's a lot of work. So no phase shifts today. Now remember to find amplitude. Amplitude is the absolute value of A, which is A. So here our amplitude is the absolute value of 3, which is 3. Okay? To calculate the period, it's 2 pi divided by B. So it's 2 pi divided by 2, which is pi. Okay? Vertical shift is whatever C is, which we don't have one. And phase shift is whatever D is, which we don't have one. Okay? So you'll have a few questions like this on your final. Just being able to do that. Okay? If I want you to graph it, now we'll go on. How many intervals always to graph a trig function? It always takes 4. Always takes 4. Okay? And whatever the period is, that is where you put on your 4th interval. Okay? Now, when there's no phase shift, then this is easy to do. It's basic math. It's 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. To get this answer, it's 1/4 of pi. This answer is 1/2 of pi, and this is 3/4 of pi. Okay, so you just multiply those out, which is pi over 4, pi over 2, and 3 pi over 4. Okay. I don't know if you remember, but when we took this test, I counted each question worth 10 points. On your final, they're only worth like 4 points or 5 points. But think about it, if you miss these 4 things, you've already missed all your points on your final. Okay, so I still grade it the exact same way. If you didn't list these, you already lost 4 points. You've missed all your points. So really make sure that you have everything listed as you do this. All right, sine waves. Where do sine waves always start?
0.
At 0. They always start at the origin. And this is what's messing people up, is they are not, and I don't change this, but if this is a negative right there, what does that tell you that your sine wave's doing then? It's going down, and there's like 2 or 3 problems on your worksheet that these are negative and everybody's drawing their graphs up. I think what they're doing is they're looking at the amplitude and they're saying, well, it's +3, so I guess I go up. You have to look at your A value. This is why I always list A, because A determines where the graph is going up or down. Okay, so be careful of that. All right, so here we go. We have an A value of 3, so at this point it's 3 above, comes back down, 3 below, and finishes there. And there you go. There's a sine wave for 1 period. And then we have you only graph everything on 1 period. Okay? All right, let's finish up with this one. Here's an inverse. I believe that this would be section 4.3 of your notebook, maybe 4.4, I can't remember. Just find inverses. I know there's only 4 sections to this chapter, okay?
Yeah, 4.3.
Is it 4.3? Okay, section 4.3. This is something I would definitely look up when you're ready to graph these, because there's a couple little common mistakes that happen. And again, they're only worth 4 points, and if you make one little mistake, it could kind of lose you some simple points. All right, let's do this real quick. What's my A value here now?
3 or
-3. Our B value is?
0.
Nope.
1.
What's in front of X?
Yeah.
1. C to D, we don't have any parentheses, so we don't have a D value. All right, here we go. What's the amplitude?
Oh, 3.
3, and that is wrong. Why is it wrong?
Oh, it's C.
It's an inverse. Remember that cosecant and secant do not have amplitudes. I know that when we graph this problem, we're going to graph it as a cosine wave. Remember, we don't graph secant, we graph cosine. And I get it that we're going to use this 3 as part of our problem, but we're listing the amplitude for secant. And I don't know if you remember, if you look in your notes, this is how we did that problem. We said our amplitude is 3 for cosine, but for secant it's none. There's a simple point that a lot of people miss. Make sure you make a note of that. Okay, period is found the same, 2 pi divided by 1. Vertical shift is 2, and phase shift, none. Okay, since we don't have a phase shift, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our period was 2 pi. So again, this is found by taking 1/4 of 2 pi, which is pi over 2. 2 goes into 4 twice. Okay, this is found by 1/2 of 2 pi. And this is 3/4 of 2 pi. Which is 3 pi over 2. Okay? All right, now notice you have a vertical shift, and we've shown you a couple ways to do it. I think the majority of you like to do it this way. I like to draw a vertical shift, and I just draw a new x-axis. Okay? I could just bump these up. I've already labeled them. I don't need to label them again. So I like to do my vertical shifts that way. Now here is where everybody is missing. I'm graphing cosine. Where am I going to start this? This is the origin. So where am I going to start this at? -3. Like at -3? I'm going to go down 3. This is where people are messing up. They see this and they come up and they start their graph right there. No, you start off A. That's why you list it. Okay? You're starting -3 below this. This graph is starting right there. Okay? So again, make a note. I get that the B, C, and D don't matter as much, but A is very important. That is what determines if it's going up or down, or are you starting here or starting there. So that's why you got to list that. All right, here we go. Now we go here, 3 above, back down, 3 below. So here is cosine. So if I wanted you to graph cosine, you're done. There it is. But we're graphing secant. Okay? Wherever this graph goes through the x-axis, which is here and here, I draw these guides, right? So this is easy. There's our max, so it's going up. Here's this, and notice you only have one guide. You don't have a guide over here, so you could only do that. And notice this, you have a guide here, but not over here. And there you go. So really, if we were to graph this on a calculator, this is all your calculator would show you, is that. That's secant. Okay? I did show you this, and I already noticed a lot of people took advantage of this earlier. If this is pi over 2, then we know that this is -pi over 2. And that graph would just go through there. So some people like to do that. They like to add that other interval so that they have a perfect U and a perfect, some people like to do that. It doesn't matter to me. You can do it either way. Okay? Watch that A value. That's what's hurting everybody when I look at their work today. They're not taking into account that it's -3 and it's starting here, not up there. Okay? So all your problems today look like this. They're just no phase shifts, no tangents and cotangents, kind of the easier graphs. Probably 3 of them on your final, so get these down. That's 12 points right there. Okay, get some extra credit today. I'll give you some numbers you can get to. show it before you leave today. I mean, I'm gonna quickly look at it. If I see mistakes, I want you to fix it, okay? Then tomorrow, we're gonna do the harder stuff. We're gonna do phase shifts tomorrow, tangent and cotangents, okay? Then on Thursday, we will take a quiz off of this stuff. Get to use your notebook on it, because it's like getting ready for your final. Did you get all that? Okay. All right, here's your extra credit. I wish I listed them, I forgot. But again, make sure off to the side, list these 4 things. I tell you the instructions, but just make a habit. Amplitude, period, vertical shift, phase shift. Those 4 things, 3 things, 4 every time. All right, here's your extra credit. 6, 10, and 12. So if you can get it done before you leave, which is very doable, you got a lot of time. I do have a typo on 11. I don't know why it says y equals, y equals. You could just scribble out one of those y equals on number 11. All right? All right, there you go. Got, shoot, a half hour, 40 minutes just reviewing. Look at your notes. If you forgot something, look in your notebook. Start using that as a resource, not a hindrance. Grams of protein, that's really good. Okay.
So I think we don't do that again.
What?
I don't shoot.
Why don't you shoot?
Actually, I did shoot my airball against,
Was it a free throw?
no, it was a 3,
I remember.
against Eastmont.
Shot an air ball.
Hey, it happens.
Did you do one of those things like you shot it, turned around, started running, and just fell short? No.
I just
No,
don't shoot.
I was thinking too high and then I
Well,
did
get
not.
closer.
I shoot a couple layups here and there.
He's a Dennis Rodman. I thought that's not really his role at time to time.
Ever. Really.
The what?
Not really his role.
He's the only power forward on the roster. He's like a Draymond Green.
Yeah, but you know, like even Dennis Rodman scored points.
No.
He averaged like
Rarely.
4.
Rarely.
He averaged, like 4 points a game.
It's better than 0.
Hey, I probably average like point
0.2.
0.7.
Maybe 0.8.
0.7.
Pablo.
You just played 4 games with 0 points.
No, he had 2.
No, he said he had 0.
No, he had a layup. He had a layup.
Oh, well, there you go.
Not in San Diego, though.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not
He didn't
saying
score it
that.
all in San Diego.
No, dude, I didn't shoot it all in. Actually, I shot a layup in San Diego. I got swatted. But we were playing against Broken Arrow, so it's like.
Every single time I see this guy go up, he gets swatted. It's like whenever I'm looking.
Okay.
Right.
Like I'm adding, you get swatted like 2 times a game.
No. I don't even shoot 2 times a game. I don't
That
think.
first game against Mount Spokane, that was like 6'8", dude. So
That was a
what?
foul.
Huh?
They did call a foul.
They called a foul on that.
He did
Oh my
swipe.
God.
He smacked
I think it was a
it.
foul.
That's
That's
okay.
sheer coincidence.
Okay.
I've seen you get stuck a
Make
lot.
that
this year.
problem up.
It's no hate, I'm just saying.
Dang it.
No, yeah, I agree. I do get swatted a lot.
Yeah, I was just saying.
But they're all fouls.
That is funny.
What do you shoot from the line then?
Oh, like 30.